Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Monday morning, March the 11th. A very windy day here in the Mid-Atlantic region. The winds really kicked up yesterday following the passage of a strong low-pressure system. That low-pressure area is now intense. It's sitting over the Canadian Maritime region, and the pressure gradient across the northeast and Mid-Atlantic region between that departing low and the high pressure that's incoming, very high. Winds will remain very high as a result today, gusting up to 50 miles per hour or so. There will be a big warm-up in the northeastern part of the nation over the next few days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, with 70-degree highs on the table for portions of the I-95 corridor region at midweek and later in the week. Then it starts to turn cooler over the upcoming weekend, and the overall pattern turns colder beginning next week, going into the following couple of weeks. Certainly there will be multiple cold shots to deal with in the northeastern part of the nation. Elsewhere, probably the big news over the next 4 or 5 days or so will be the snow event out across the Rocky Mountain states. This is a forecast map from the 0Z run of the GFS for total snowfall amounts over the next 5 days between this morning, Monday morning, and Saturday morning. And here is the main area out across the Colorado Rockies into New Mexico, and really the Four Corners area right here, getting some significant snowfall over the next 5 or 6 days ago. This it looks like it'll be centered on Thursday, but really anytime from later Wednesday into the day on Friday, there can be this impact from a significant winter storm out across the Rocky Mountain states. Certainly some snow also over the next several days across at least the northern part of the Sierra Nevada mountain range out in northern California, all the way up into the southwestern part of Canada. Also some snow accumulation up across interior sections of New England over the next 5 days or so. Well, let's walk through the 850 millibar temperature anomaly forecast maps from the 0Z run of the GFS, starting off with colder than normal conditions today, Mid-Atlantic region. Certainly the actual air temperatures remain below normal for this time of the year, and the air mass will feel even worse given the fact that there are northwest winds gusting up to 50 miles per hour or so throughout the Mid-Atlantic region, northeast U.S., as has been the case in recent weeks. Cold shots in the northeastern part of the nation have been rather short-lived, and indeed this pulls on out of here by tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures should be back up into the 60s, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City. Above normal conditions to start off this new work week here over the northern plains, and colder than normal along the west coast. Now let's move forward here. We'll see a big warm-up again coming to the Mid-Atlantic, northeast U.S., maybe even 70 degrees by Wednesday afternoon. Places like Philadelphia, maybe 70 plus degrees in D.C. by Wednesday afternoon. It stays unseasonably warm on Thursday as well. Could turn out to be the warmest day of the week on Thursday, with significantly warmer than normal conditions here at the 850 millibar level later in the day on Thursday. It stays colder than normal for the most part out across the Rocky Mountain states, and again, a significant snow event is on the table for places like even places like Denver, Colorado, but the Colorado Rockies certainly, and really the Four Corners states of Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado can get hit pretty hard by this winter storm system later this week. Again, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday time frame. Now let's move forward here, and we get another chilly air mass crossing northern New England, but a colder air mass now moving into the north central U.S. by the end of the upcoming weekend, and that moves into the eastern third of the nation by the early part of next week. Here we go by next Tuesday. This is a week from tomorrow, and again, kind of an increasing amounts of cold air shots making their way into the northeastern part of the nation beginning next week, and it looks like it'll continue for the following week and probably right into the early part of April, that colder pattern for the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast U.S. Here we go towards the latter part of this forecast run. Look at all this cold air starting to build up in about 10 days or so. This is next Thursday all across Canada at this particular time. We'll just move forward in time here quickly and see that we have widespread colder than normal conditions coming down across the Great Lakes region into the Mid-Atlantic region. This is all the way out now 2 weeks from right now, right around the time where everybody wants springtime in the Mid-Atlantic region, northeast U.S. Looks like we'll get cold conditions here, and this is a widespread cold air outbreak. This is looking way ahead now, 2 weeks from right now, but again, a lot of signs point to a trend to colder and colder conditions relative to normal. Not this week, but next week and the following week, and maybe right into the early part of April across the Great Lakes, the Midwest and Northeast U.S. and the Mid-Atlantic region. Well, let's take a look at the 500 millibar height anomalies. Again, strong low pressure at the surface over the Canadian Maritime provinces, and high pressure coming in. The difference in pressure between those two systems causing a tight pressure gradient and very strong winds. We had very strong winds developed yesterday in the Mid-Atlantic region, northeast U.S., gusting up to 50 miles per hour or so out of the northwest. Some snow squalls developed yesterday, especially later in the afternoon into the early evening hours, and there will be some lake effect snows today as well, ridging out across the middle of the nation and an upper level trough out across the Pacific Northwest. Now let's move forward here and we'll see. Probably the biggest storm of the week to talk about is this system right here that dives down into that Four Corners region here by Thursday. And again, this could produce some significant snowfall, certainly in the higher elevation areas of the Rocky Mountain states, and even places like the plains of Colorado, the Denver metro region can get accumulating snow, probably centered on the day Thursday. It starts off the week quite mild out in that part of the nation, 60 degrees today, for example, in Denver, but by Thursday they could be receiving accumulating snow, and that continues to move to the south here and sits around for a while. It kind of sits and spins, and that's why the time period really looks like later Wednesday all the way into the day on Friday. This is the Friday forecast map. Meanwhile, high pressure ridging centered on the eastern seaboard here, and again, cold and windy today in the Mid-Atlantic, in the northeast U.S., but things change drastically by Tuesday afternoon. And Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, even Friday, very mild conditions with 70-degree highs on the table for places like Philadelphia, maybe even New York City later this week, and certainly in the 70s by Wednesday afternoon, Thursday afternoon in D.C. Let's go out a little bit farther in time. And here we start to see some upper level lows, and again some cold air masses starting to show up, probably increasing frequency for this starting next week and going certainly into the following week. And here we go, a week from right now. This looks like a pretty impressive upper level low and a pretty impressive cold shot headed to the Great Lakes, Midwest, Northeast, Mid-Atlantic region. A week from right now, this is early next week. Well, let's wrap up with the surface forecast maps, again using the 0Z run of the GFS. And here's that low pressure area, 977 millibar low, and look at this tight pressure gradient pattern between this slowly departing low and the incoming high for the Mid-Atlantic region, northeast U.S. Very strong winds, again gusting up to 50 miles per hour or so. Still seeing some lake effect type snows here on the backside of this low. There were snow squalls all the way down into southeastern Pennsylvania on a Sunday afternoon. But out in the middle of the nation, very nice weather. You can see on the backside of this high pressure area, these are southwesterly winds pumping in milder air right up to the Great Lakes. Now, let's push forward here. Stays very windy through the day, starts to relax later tonight and into the day on Tuesday. And this high pressure area moves closer and closer to the Mid-Atlantic region on Tuesday, and that begins the big warm up. Here we go by tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, that southwesterly flow of air on the backside of the high, which has shifted pretty quickly to off the eastern seaboard out over the western Atlantic by later tomorrow, opens the door for that milder trend in the Mid-Atlantic, in the northeast U.S. And here comes that upper level low starting to produce some snow out over the Rocky Mountain states. This is now by late Wednesday, starting to see some decent snowfall out across the Rocky Mountain states, and very warm conditions in the eastern half of the nation. Again, 70 to 75 degrees possible by Wednesday afternoon and Thursday in D.C. And here we push a little forward here, and this is the time period, this Thursday, where even Denver metro area can get some accumulating snow out of this. A cold high to the north, very impressive upper level feature associated with this. There'll be some shower activity moving into the eastern third of the nation, continuation of that snow. It's a slow moving system all the way into the day on Friday, the end of the work week, which is March 15th. An impressive low by the end of this week down over the lower Mississippi Valley. Will go out a couple more days. That pushes off to the north and east, reaching at least the southern half of the Mid-Atlantic region by the time we get to the early part of the weekend. Still snowing all the way into Saturday morning out across Colorado and New Mexico. And again, accumulating snow. This is a significant winter storm likely for the Four Corners region later this week going into the weekend. You can see with this pattern here of these dashed blue lines, a lot of cold air building up across Canada by the time we get to the early part of the weekend. That kind of tells us what's coming in the Great Lakes, the Midwest, the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic region. A colder pattern starts to set up next week, and it probably continues for a few weeks into the early part of April. That's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, this has been meteorologist Paul Dorian.